indaba yokuthi akube khona ukubambisana uphela umsindo kuphela ukuxokozela
kunjalo besebenza lokho obe uzathintana nanabakhulu bangapha eSwazini uzangithi kuboniswa anti kungalungiswa kanjani
isizwe silimele sonke Ndlunkulu kuhamba umdlokombane kwahamba umntwana enkosi manje sekuhamba undunankulu kaZulu
siphandle thina sele sodwa nje ogcina lo hambile ogcina yikho kubhlungu nje sazokwenza kanjani
ukuya phambili mhlawumbe edingeka ukuthi isizwe sibumbane neNdlunkulu ibumbane
bekufanele uqale thina sibumbane siwumndeni lokhu ke futhi kade sakucela akubumbane umndeni ngoba ngeke senze lutho phela singahlangene
uNdlunkulu siyathokoza kakhulu. Well, that is the Queen Mother, Queen Mavis uMazungu. Queen Mavis is one of the surviving wives, in fact the only surviving wife of King Bhekuzulu, who was King Zwelithini's father. Let's get to Reverend Haumbata. Rev, thank you very much for your time. You have known Umntwana for years. Your reflections on your encounters with him.
Indeed, I've known him too well and for a long time. Even before I worked for the SABC, I knew him because he is our eNCA in my home area where we are now. But the most important thing that brought me here firstly is to express my gratitude to God that he gave the nation a man of stature that we are here for today. He has contributed to society as a whole, and he has contributed to the entire world on his values and his steadfastness. But I've also known him as a man who was forthright. You are in this media, and I've known a few whips from him on me, and I want to say to our viewers that
even me too, at some point he called me Ivugane.
There you are. I must tell you how wonderful he was. When he had whipped my company, he would send his envoys to me and say, go tell Reverend Mbata that I was not whipping him, I was whipping his company. And the other thing that I am grateful for is that at the height of political pressure and contestation, he's the only leader of my time who openly confessed Christ amongst all the problems and the risk of losing some votes of people who were non-Christians. But he stayed fast in faith. I hope that God is going to bless the nation and that God is going to bless his children, and that the nation is not going to have some rifts and some wrangles about who is to succeed him and who is to do what, that his children will steer the ship and keep the honor and the ura around Kwapindangene. And may I wish all people who believe in God to thank God for the life and the energy that we saw in Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, whose last function is today. And I want to thank the media too, that you guys have kept the society informed right from the onset, and for that I'm grateful to you.
He believed in media freedom, even though he felt that some of the things that were written about him were negative. But he said to me, Mr. Goge, it's your responsibility. At the end of the day, there's nothing I can do. I need to protect and basically ensure that you exercise and you practice your craft. That's what he used to say. He believed in the media freedom, as we see Abantwana baseNdlunkulu, Prince Qedi and Prince Thulani. But that is very unique about him, media freedom, even though he was at times at loggerheads with many of us.
You know what? He so believed in media freedom that at a time when we had labor problems at the SABC, he contacted me personally and said, listen, this is the time that you should show your leadership and help the people who are dissatisfied so they can continue serving us. And he so believed in media freedom that I could approach him at any time and say, we want to make an interview with you, when all his envoys would have said no. And he would say, oh yes, Mfundisi, come. And then we would have a conversation with him. I really hope that the leaders and his successors will emulate him on believing in media freedom and not thinking that they owe, because they have the authority, and believe they have the authority to what people should hear.
Reverend Haumbata, thank you very much for your time. That is Reverend Haumbata reflecting on some of the issues. Zamazungu, I don't know if we still have time, but perhaps let me throw it back to you, brother. I wanted to interview some members of the Zulu royal family. I see the late King Zwelithini, his children are also here. Eminent business persons, they are also here. For now, let me take it back to you. We will pick up later on.